Hello, hello, hello. I'm Ed Jones. I'm the founder of the Beyond the Field program and an experienced player development professional. This podcast is here to bring exposure to the player development field with the goal of creating generational impact in athletics and other surrounding areas. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend time with me on this platform. Before I go any further, I just want to say thank you all so much. This has been launch week. Just the response I've gotten from you all, the comments, the likes, the retweets, the text messages, the shares. Like, it's been incredible seeing the support that this podcast is getting, because for me, you all are people who want to impact other people's lives. And that's great for me. My mission in this podcast is to create generational impact, and seeing that you guys are the same in that mission and support this has been incredible. So I can't thank you enough, not only for your support, but for providing the truth to me that this podcast was needed. I thank you for your support in helping create this podcast. In today's episode, we will discuss player development growth. We will cover the future of player development, the trends of player development, and the factual data behind the growth of player development after this ad by our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by Beyond the Field Program, LLC. Interested in creating an impact for your athletes, interested in player development, but don't know where to start? Beyond the Field is your one-stop shop for all things player development. Go to btfprogram.com to purchase or download player development resources. Email info@btfprogram.com for consulting and other player development needs you may have. We want to help you create the generational impact you want to see in the world. Once again, visit btfprogram.com for more information, and follow us on Twitter and IG at BTF_program. That's BTF_program, and Facebook, BTF program, one word, BTF program. All right, so let's get the show started. Today's topic is player development growth, its future, trends, and the data behind it all. Take a seat, get ready to take notes, and let's take a ride to see where player development is heading. 2021, I wrote a blog called The Future of Player Development. In the blog, I detailed the changes I believe will come in player development in regards to staffs, fundraising, recruiting, the NFL, education, internships, high school and youth sports, and women in sports. This was one of the first works in regards to this topic of growth. I recommend you go read it on the website. After the 2020 football season, as coaching staffs change, I noticed the growth of available positions for player development across the country. So I decided to write a blog on the player development growth. In it, I talked about 3 topics that I had seen grow since starting in player development in 2016. These 3 topics were expansion at the FBS level, expansion at the high school level, and expansion of player development staffs. The expansion of player development at the FBS level was seen in the growth in professionals at the Group of 5 level. Power 5 and Group of 5 are terms used by media and others when speaking of the FBS conferences in college football. These descriptors became popular when the college football playoff was created. The expansion of player development at the high school level grew like the recruiting coordinator role grew as the college football recruiting staffs grew. I was familiar with this growth as I became a recruiting coordinator during my time as a high school coach. Shout out to DJ Mann, Coach O, Chad Johnson, Joe Price, Kevin Godwin, and so many others out there that were doing the recruiting coordinator position for their athletes at the high school level. Now there's coaches doing player development for their players at the high school level also. Shout out to you all. Andre Sims, I know for sure, and some others around the country coaching ball. The expansion of player development staff on the college level was seen in the number of assistant director, coordinator, and manager positions being posted by program. Now, all these observations are great, but I knew that they would be of greater impact if they were verified with statistical data. So with the help of Aaron Fizel, we decided to go back and see how much player development had changed from 2016, when I started in player development, to 2021. This was a 3-week study that got to the facts of player development and the data behind the growth of the position. Findings, which are detailed in the blog named Player Development Growth Data, supported the observations that I expressed in the Player Development Growth blog. Here's what we found out. Player development professionals grew 96% over that time period. This number was shocking to me. I knew that the number of people in PD grew, but I didn't realize the growth was this substantial. The next thing we found out was there was an increase of multiple player development staff members per program. There was a 166% increase of staffs with 2 or more professionals. 16 programs have multiple professional development staffers. 5 of these programs had 3 or more player development professionals on staff. We also observed player development grew at the FBS conference level. The average percentage of increase of player development professionals per conference was 26%. The Pac-12 had the highest increase with 48%, and the SEC was the only conference with 100% placement of player development professionals at their institutions. These were the data points that were listed in the blog, but there were other observations that I noticed during the study. 11 directors of player development were still at the same university throughout the study. 6 of those 11 were with the same head coach during that time. As with the constant transition in college football, the position transitions as well. In the time of this study, I worked for 3 different universities. If you're interested in this role, be prepared for transition, as I've been on both sides of transition, that being promotions and terminations. My experience with terminations is that the positive effect and the impact you have on student athletes, no matter how tangible, will not help you with your evaluation if you get one for returning. So make the most of your time in the role and sow seeds for later impact. Now, with that said, I want to encourage some of you listeners out there. There is a lot of opportunity being created for this space. So if you're interested in player development, have hope, as the data shows growth is here and will continue. Don't give up if you're wanting to get into the player development field. Continue to learn, continue to create relationships, and enhance your communication skills as you prepare for your position. So that's the topic for today. Wasn't really a lot, but I wanted to give you all hope and give you the future trends and the data of player development to show you that it is growing. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited that, some of the people that have reached out to me on LinkedIn over the past from 2016 till now are starting to get positions in player development. So it's great. It's positive. I'm encouraged. You should be encouraged. The growth is here and the growth will continue to happen. Now it's time for a former player shout out. Want to give recognition to those that I've coached or led who are doing great things beyond the field. This episode, I want to give a shout out to Khari Dotson. Khari was a football student athlete at the University of Houston, my 3 years there. I was always impressed with Khari's effort, attention to detail, communication skills, and desire to help others. Khari and his team have just launched Life Beyond Athletics. Life Beyond Athletics was created for athletes to help them answer the question, what's next? Changing careers can be difficult when you put so much time into your athletic career. We're here to help with that transition. As an athlete, you have a team of trainers, doctors, coaches, teammates who are all there to support you. We want to be the teammates that help you with your next step. Our team focuses on building on your strengths and passions as we prepare you for the challenges you'll face in life beyond athletics. And I'm so proud of Khari and what he's doing. Please visit their website at lifebeyondathletics.com. Well, while I was talking to Khari about him being a spotlight, he mentioned an observation he saw. His dad was fortunate enough to play football for 11 years in the NFL. And Khari noticed that his dad had an exit plan, and his dad is actually the president of the chapter, NFLPA chapter in Houston. He had a plan, but what Khari noticed is that there were more people helping him when he played than when he wasn't. And this is something that I tell student athletes all the time. Take advantage of your time with this jersey. Take advantage of your time at this university, because people are more willing to help you when you're associated to something they're passionate about. I'll say that again. People are more willing to help you when you're associated to something they're passionate about. So you're at this university, you have all these fans, alumni, staff, whatever it may be. Use that opportunity, use that platform to get the help that you need. Once again, shout out to Khari, doing big things, Life Beyond Athletics. Please visit them at lifebeyondathletics.com. Now it's time for a question of the day. You can send in your question or questions through our social media accounts or email your question of the day to info@btfprogram.com. Today's question of the day is one that I received from a lot of people wanting to get into space. The question is, what do I need to do to get a player development position? Well, I would say you need to build meaningful relationships with the professionals in those spaces. Not necessarily just networking, but actually building relationships. Also, things are opening up now. So see if you can volunteer and help them. There's a lot of protocols going down, more people are getting out doing things. I see programming getting back up with teams visiting schools, bringing in speakers, doing other things. See if you can volunteer. In the meantime, continue to build and sharpen your soft skills. The biggest of these, communication skills. You will have to communicate with different ages, generations, and backgrounds in this role. Becoming an effective communicator will help you greatly in player development. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for taking time to listen. Go follow Beyond the Field on Twitter and IG at BTF_program and on Facebook at BTF Program. Tag us on social media and let us know what you've learned about player development from today's show. Go visit the website, btfprogram.com, and check out the resources in the blogs. Get your copy of the Beyond the Field Volume 1 today. Subscribe to this podcast on the platform you're listening to. Please rate and leave a review of the show. It would mean so much. Share this podcast if you believe it will benefit someone to learn more about player development. On the next episode, we'll talk about Odell Beckham Jr. You don't want to miss. I look forward to the next podcast. Thank you for tuning in and spending your valuable time with me. God bless. Have a great day. Go out and create generational impact. Don't wait. Create that generational impact today.